Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. It's your boy DELRAY Richardson, platinum artist, platinum songwriter, Straight Game TV. Thank you for tuning in. Uh, Always a pleasure. Share the stream. Hopefully, we don't have any technical difficulties. It seems like sometimes we come on here and technical difficulties happen. Uh, Thank you for tuning in. Wait for a couple of more people. We got is it AI Morris, uh, uh, Free Suge TV, yo, uh, uh, Black Jedi 23, uh, West Coast Customs in the building, HBKC 93, Peace, the Dawn. Always a pleasure. Thank you for coming in. PR of Redskins. What's happening? Wait for a couple of other people to come up in here. We're gonna chop it up, man. Praying for no technical difficulties and everything goes through like it's supposed to. PR Black, Doug Campbell, William Jones, Twain Gant, Andre Fault. What's happening? Wait for a few more people to come up in here, and we're gonna talk about it. This is no different. I'm gonna give you some. This is no different today. What happened involving Bomb1st and Reggie Wright Jr. Being canceled by Morgan and Morgan based on the allegations made by Keefe that Reggie was the mastermind allegedly behind the Tupac Shakur situation in Las Vegas on September 7th, 1996. Um, Sunshine was good. Uh, Tory Ron Brown, ACM was good. So yeah, we're gonna get into it like this. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you all know or should know by now, um, what was going on in the situation. Keefe did the ABC Good Morning America interview in which he basically said that not only that Reggie Wright Jr. was the mastermind, uh, but it, he mentioned the word mercenaries from that perspective. It's always been believed that based on what Suge Knight had said about um, Suge Knight recently spoke on an Art of Dialogue, and he said that he had a fragments of a 45 caliber bullet still in his head. Right? It is a well-known fact that Tupac Shakur was shot with a 40 caliber Glock. So if what Suge Knight, because I haven't seen any details, any medical records as to if what Suge Knight is saying is true about the 45 caliber. If what Suge Knight is saying is true, then that would mean that there were two shooters. For a lot of people who say that, I don't know. Like I said, I would have to see. For me, this is just for me. I would have to see the medical documentation from the hospital stating what that was. Not that I don't believe Suge Knight, but like I said, when a person is saying something versus when you see proof from a third party who has no reason, rhyme, they just doing their job, just like with the Tupac situation, right? So a lot of the things that Keefe has been alleging, he has been talking about a long time ago, as well as saying that if he went to jail for the murder of Tupac, that Reggie should go to jail for the assassination of the notorious B.I.G. There's been various claims and statements that Reggie Wright Jr. has made in regards to his hatred towards the notorious B.I.G. from that perspective. What may Biggie rest in peace, what Biggie ever did to Reggie Wright Jr. is beyond me for the vicious and vitriol that Reggie Wright Jr. was speaking. You may have seen some of the shorts on YouTube. And so today was a moment of clarity. Once again, Discretion TV, a guy by the name of Valentino, actually called Morgan and Morgan up, and told them and reminded them, should I say, informed them that they were in cahoots in business, had a practicing business relationship with Bomb1st and one of their, or should I say, if you want to call them a co-owner, participant, business partner of John Highland, that they were in cahoots in a business relationship and sponsoring a channel whose main host has been implicated to be involved in the mastermind and the orchestrator behind the murder of one of the biggest rappers or entertainers of our time, Tupac Shakur. The video is up on Discretion TV, where he actually records the phone call with the lady from Morgan and Morgan, as he basically breaks down to her what he understands. And like I said, for the reason that he did that, he felt it was his moral obligation to do that, as Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. has felt that it was his moral obligation to go in front of the grand jury and say what he said in regards to Keefe D and the rest. You see how that works? That works both ways. That doesn't just work one way. That works both ways. Where one person can go and feel like they want to do something that they feel like is a worthy, noteworthy thing, and Discretion TV, and I guess his love and respect for Tupac, wanted to go and let Morgan and Morgan know and inform them that they were doing business with somebody who was implicated in the murder of Tupac Shakur by the guy who is now in prison for being associated with the murder of Tupac Shakur, none other than Keefe D. So now, the craziest part about this is that when you think about what's been going on and the things that have been happening over on Bomb1st, this was, you can see this coming. I don't think that they thought that it was going to come in such a blatant and outright truthful way, the way that Discretion TV did it. They recorded the phone call and let it be known that, hey, this is what it is. This is who you're dealing with. You don't know you're dealing with this person. And so when you understand that, I think it's kind of sad, because the things that Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. has been doing online, the rumors that he's been spreading, the disrespect, the lies, the continuous lies, as like I said before, you seen the other day I did a video with him trying to explain that he was trying to get Frank Alexander to go to, when it came time to testify on Suge's behalf, to actually go to answer the subpoena. Publicly, he was trying to make himself look as if he was the good guy, right? And these are just some of the backstories. But behind the scenes, Reggie did not know that he was being recorded by Frank Alexander. And Frank recorded a phone call. So in public, Reggie was saying, hey, you know what? I just wanted him to do his job. That's what he was hired for. Trying to appear to be this upstanding citizen who wanted to do the right thing and all of these things like that. But in that same breath, behind closed doors, he did not know he was being recorded by Frank Alexander. You can hear Reggie on the phone telling Frank, if you don't get subpoenaed today, if you miss the subpoena or basically get lost and don't get subpoenaed, you should be okay. Right? And when he's telling him Frank should be okay from what? You understand what I'm saying? So once again, these are some of the things that have happened over the years that no one has really picked up on. And so once again, when Reggie started to call me names, he's never met me, doesn't know me, and he started to call me names, I'm like, well, who is this guy? And like I said, I understood that he was the failed security guard who had pulled pulled the security off of Tupac that night, tried to deny that. Tim Williams admitted that Tim Williams is still alive. And Tim Williams admitted that, yes, Reggie did pull Michael Moore off, told Michael Moore he couldn't carry his gun. Yes, the story is true. They had a meeting. Reggie told everybody that they couldn't have their guns. From that perspective, they tried to make it as if it was Club 662. But if you couldn't carry the gun at Club 662, then you couldn't carry the gun nowhere in Vegas. You got the interstate trafficking thing as far as having a weapon, it being licensed in another state, and you carrying that weapon. There's certain rules and regulations that one would have to report to the Las Vegas authorities if one was carrying a gun in Las Vegas from that perspective, especially doing security and things of that nature, right? Frank testified to this. Reggie's always denied it. But I did a video with Michael Moore's one-time girlfriend, and she was telling me what went on. Reggie and them tried to go get Tim Williams, who was also Michael Moore's roommate in Las Vegas on that fatal night, and basically trying to get Tim Williams to agree with what he was saying. But Tim Williams didn't flinch. Tim Williams basically told the truth. And he said, yeah, there was a meeting. Reggie was there. Reggie told everybody not to carry their guns. Michael Moore, he said Michael Moore received a phone call. He wasn't privy to what was being said on the other line. But when Michael Moore got off the phone, Michael Moore was pissed because he was being taken off of Tupac. So Michael Moore had expressed that he really didn't like Tupac personally, but he was pissed that night that he was being taken off of Tupac because Michael Moore enjoyed the job that he did. Right? And that Reggie told Michael Moore that he wouldn't be able to bring his gun to Club 662. Michael Moore felt some kind of way about that. Okay. So now, all of the things that Tim Williams just said were true. Frank Alexander said was true. Michael Moore said was true. Suge Knight said was true. So now we come to the point where we have a situation where somebody in Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. gets on the line each and every day and calls people names, tells lies on people, implicates people. Once again, you have to understand Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. implicated his former boss, Suge Knight, in the murder of the notorious B.I.G. Basically saying that Russell Poole got it right when Russell Poole basically said that Suge was responsible for the murder of notorious B.I.G. This is Reggie Wright Jr., the same guy who Morgan & Morgan actually canceled today based on the allegations that were made against him. You see how that works in a full 360-degree circle as far as that's concerned? So today, Discretion TV called Morgan & Morgan and told them, this is who you're in business with. This guy right here. And so if you were to go, if you were Morgan & Morgan and you were to go to look at some of the content that Gullible John and Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. put out, just the content alone, you wouldn't want your brand to be associated with that, because he calls the Art of Dialogue names. He calls me names. You know, he calls a lot of people names whom he has no relationship with, using homophobic slurs, racial slurs. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about, nigga, nothing like that. It's amongst, when I'm not talking about that, but that's just what he does. For lack of having no content at all, he's been trolling other people. Every time somebody put out a video, he knows more than the person that actually was in the experienced the video. He's also said that, Suge Knight, was trying to change the course of the Keefe D case when Suge Knight was actually the other person in the car being shot, right? Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. has been trying to control the narrative from day one. From day one. Remember, Reggie told Frank Alexander to tell a lie. You know what I found out yesterday? You can go to Bomb1st. There's a video of Reggie with the Seaside Police Department. Reggie's father said, when Reggie called him, Reggie had already made up the story. You can go look at it for yourself. Started about an hour and 22 minutes on that video when him and his father sitting with the Seaside Police Department. Started about an hour and 22. I said it's hour and 22 straight, right? Straight up. Reggie's father said that when Reggie called him, Reggie told him about the players, the people who had did it, the players that he had heard about had did it. Not only did he say that, but he said something poignant. He said that Reggie had already come up with the story. He had already come up with the story that Orlando Anderson had tried to grab Tupac's chain. This story was, go look at the video. On Bomb1st, started about an hour and 22 minutes. And you go look at the video and you're going to see that. I was like, oh, wow, he had already made up a story. Mind you, this is the reason why what Keefe D is saying is somewhat plausible. We don't know. We must wait and reserve judgment for the facts. But this is the reason why, because there's so many lies been told. And then when I heard that, I was like, well, he had already came up with the story about somebody trying to snatch Tupac's chain. I'm talking about within an hour to 2 hours after the situation happened. Go watch the video. The video with Reggie and his father sitting by the way. You watch that video and you'll see that he's already come up with the story according to his father. That somebody tried to snatch Tupac's chain. Now, mind you, Tupac is in the hospital in a coma. He said he made up that story, right? Unilaterally decided to make up that story, not consulting with Suge, because Suge in the hospital too. So Reggie had made up a story already when he wasn't even there. He was at Club 662 by his own admission, right? So he makes up a story and says, yeah, he told his father who the players was. How did he know that? Unbeknownst to me, he had another story that he told. He heard it from the people in the parking lot. The first time he said he got it from Suge until Suge came out and called him a lie and said, Reggie never talked to me in the hospital. He never came to my hospital room. Suge came out and refuted that publicly on the Dave Mays podcast, if you will. You can go listen to that too. These are all facts, ladies and gentlemen. And so when he said that, I was like, wow, why would he come up with that story like that? Right? And he would come up with a story like that, but then in turn refuse to send 5 more security guards like Suge Knight had asked him to send 5 more security guards. Like, why would you come up with a story that, this fight alleged, like, who was he really trying to cover up for? Or what was he trying to cover up in the fact that he was not there? Now, another thing, Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. has always said that somebody whispered something around some people in the group. Tupac heard it, then Tupac ran over there. But the person who was actually there, Frank Alexander, who was standing right next to Tupac, said, no, that's not how that happened. He didn't say it to a group of people. It was whispered into Tupac's ear himself. Frank Alexander testified to that, period, point blank, when he gave a statement to the Metropolitan Police Department in Vegas. But Reggie has been going around with the narrative and saying, oh, as if he was there, but he wasn't there. Now, if I'm going to take somebody's word for it, I'm going to take the person who was in close proximity, who was right there. Frank Alexander had no dog in the fight, no reason to lie. He was just basically stating what went on. He talked about how Tupac ran and did what he did, which I think personally Tupac was wrong, period. That's we talking facts. And he grabbed Pac, put him up against the wall. Pac wanted to go back and jump in for more. Frank's trying to stop him, right? But this is what I'm saying. So when you talk about the big picture of what's been going on today, Discretion TV, Valentino, when he went over there and called Morgan and Morgan, most people, like I said, I don't know what made him do it, but like I said, I can understand the reasons why. The vitriol and hate that Reggie had shown for Biggie, may Biggie rest in peace, You got to understand something. Tupac always said that, even in the last interview he did with Rob Marriott, he's like, there really is no beef. He's like, it's not every time when I see Biggie, I'm going to rush him. You know what I mean? I might not be feeling in the mood like that today. You know what I mean? And we might be able to chop it up again. You know, Tupac understood the mission, right? Once everything had kind of cleared up, you know what I mean? It wasn't him going to be beefing with Biggie forever. So when Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. acts as if and makes a statement as if, you know, he said, well, so what? Reggie said, quote, so what if I had something to do with the murder of Biggie Smalls? If you a Tupac fan, you should be happy. Why? Tupac fired him on August 27th, 1996. Why would Tupac want, Tupac didn't need Reggie Wright to answer anything for him or speak for him. He could speak for himself. Everything that people said about Tupac, the cold part about Tupac was basically he answered it if you listen to his interviews and you listen to his music. All the way down to when people said that somebody did something to him in jail. Go look at the Vibe interview where he's sitting on the couch and he explained when people were saying that, how he felt about that. You understand what I'm saying? So I need not come and speak on his behalf. I'm talking about the facts that have been presented to us and what has been disseminated in the media, and we can talk about that because that's what that is. So now, the lie about the Nextel radios. So now, you know, Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. and Gullible John, oh, I'm sure they're upset. But did Reggie think about what he was saying or think about being upset when he lied about the Nextel radio when all Michael Moore was trying to do was just tell what he heard? This is the funny part about that, the got him statement, right? So much so that when somebody said got him, Reggie immediately got defensive about that as if it meant something that was referring to him, something he had did, right? Or something he was responsible for. Listen, if somebody said got him over the radio and 8 people got the radio, why did Reggie feel the need to defend that so vigorously? That didn't even mean that it had to be directed towards him. It could have been directed towards anybody who had the radio. You get it? But he felt in his mind that he should defend that. Like, it didn't happen. We was in the nightclub when it happened. The music was so loud, Michael Moore couldn't have heard that. I showed you the video where Michael Moore said that where they were actually at when he said he heard it. He said they were about to get into the car and go to the hospital after they heard about what happened to Suge and Tupac with the lawyer George Kalisis. Period. Right? But check this out now. Out of 27 whole long years in regards to this situation, it wasn't until Suge Knight called Reggie Wright Jr. a liar in regards to Reggie saying that Suge told him who was responsible for it. Remember, Reggie said he came to the hospital and Suge told him. That was one of the stories he told. Until Suge came out and said, he never talked to me in the hospital, right? It wasn't until then, listen, it wasn't until then that Reggie admitted, because he never said it, that Michael Moore drove to the hospital with him and the lawyer, George Kalisis. You see, when he needed Michael Moore as an alibi to say that he went to the hospital, not talk to Suge, but he was just trying to point out that he went to the hospital. He was like, oh, he took and played that actual statement when the statement before he played Michael Moore saying that, oh, when I was about to get in the car with me and Mr. Wright before we going to the hospital, right? But if he were rounded it just a little bit further back, you would have heard Michael Moore saying the statement where he heard got him. You see how he wanted to play word salad and games? He wanted to use one part of the statement, but not the entirety of the statement, and take it for its full context of what it actually meant. So now, we're here. Keefe D comes out. We know Reggie and Keefe D have a relationship. Reggie was bragging about how he was the person that was setting Keefe D up for the interviews. Right? I'm responsible for that. You know, y'all help these. I made all of these guys, you know what I mean? And all of that, right? So the relationship existed. So now when Keefe D says what he says in relation to Reggie the Rat Wright Jr., what is Keefe D actually talking about? Keefe D's lawyer, Carl Arnold, is basically saying what? They have a private investigator that they hired that has talked to people and they're interviewing people that will come in court and testify that Reggie Wright Jr. is the orchestrator and mastermind behind the assassination of Tupac Shakur. Now, how they intend to do that, I don't want to speculate. But I do know that there's a relationship there, as you guys very well know that there's a relationship there. How deep the relationship runs, what we don't know about the situation, I don't want to speculate. I don't want to call it bullshit. I don't want to call it facts. I don't want to say Keefe D wrong. I don't want to say he right. All I want to say is I want to reserve judgment and hear this situation out. And so now, for all of the things that Reggie had been saying today, Morgan & Morgan, the international and nationally known law firm, disassociated itself with Reginald Wright Jr. based on the fact of what Keefe D said in his ABC Good Morning America interview. And that's where we are. That's where we are. And like I said, all of the hate, vitriol, jealousy, and all of those other things that were being thrown out, they mean nothing at this particular time because it is a fact. Beyond any shadow of a doubt, Suge Knight told Reggie that night, Suge said, I had two of the best guys on Tupac that night. Understand, Kevin Hackey wasn't supposed to work that night according to Frank Alexander. Right? Suge Knight said I had two of the best guys on Tupac that night, and Michael Moore and Frank Alexander. Remember, they went to the MGM earlier that night when Tupac was gambling. When it was time to go to the fight, Michael Moore had been pulled off of Tupac. Right? But not only that, when you think about what Suge Knight had said, and Suge Knight said this was a benign statement. It wasn't like he was trying to pinpoint anything or, throw any kind of hate or darts or any kind of vitriol at Reggie. He was just stating, he was like, that's why I had two of the best guys on Tupac that night. Suge explicitly said, but Reggie pulled them off of him. He said also, it didn't happen. It didn't have to happen like that. What was Suge talking about when he said it didn't have to happen like that? Right? Listen, when Tupac and them got to the fight, they were waiting on Suge and them. Tupac got there early. They went in the cab, right? So they goes in the cab. They waiting for Suge. Frank say Tupac getting mad because every time they go to a fight, Suge show up late or whatever have you, right? So they're trying to call and find out where Suge is at. So once again, Frank Alexander had to use a payphone. You talking about the guy securing Tupac does not have any kind of recording or communication apparatus where he can communicate with all of the players, and he didn't have that. They had a meeting earlier that day, remember? Remember the meeting where they were told to not carry guns? There was no effort to give Frank any kind of radio. So when they get to the fight, Frank got to use the payphone call and try to find out what Suge. So Suge show up. Suge shows up and sees that Frank is the only person on Tupac. But Suge also sees something else that night, he said. He said they were stalking Pac. He said there was already a plan to do something to him. This is what Suge said. You know what I mean? This is his observation. This is what he's saying. So he's saying, I called Reggie and told Reggie to send 5 more security guards for Tupac. And Reggie didn't send nobody. Reggie didn't even stop past the MGM Grand. The reason why? Because he would be confronted with that. That statement right there. Let me give you this now. That statement that I just told you, Reggie Wright told a story about how that statement actually happened in June of 1996. I'm going to give you this. I want you to pay attention to this very, very carefully, because I'm going to give you some straight game. You got to understand what I'm about to tell you. So when Suge calls up Reggie, asks for 5 more security guards, you know what Reggie says? This is what he actually said to Suge. Reggie said, that nigga sent over facts to me, firing me. You know, he fired me and blah, blah, blah. Reggie says that Suge said, Tupac don't pay you no ring, Reggie. I pay you. Don't play like that, right? Listen, the facts that Reggie is talking about, this is in June when he's trying to say that this situation happened at the Keyshawn Johnson draft party. This is in June. Reggie saying that he told Suge something about a fax in June that wasn't sent until August 27, 1996, ladies and gentlemen. Did you hear what I just said? Reggie is, this is on video. This is not me telling y'all this. This is on videos that I've made. Reggie is sitting there lying about saying that a conversation that happened in Vegas happened in June about a fax that was sent in August of 1996. June comes before August, right? So how in the hell can he have a conversation about a fax that has not even come yet? How can he tell Suge, oh, where would he tell Suge, yeah, well, he sent the fax firing me. The fax was sent approximately 11 days before Tupac was shot. You can't change the timeline. The fax is documented. When you sent the fax, it came with the stamp. Not only that, but the fax was signed by Tupac. So how in the hell can somebody have a conversation in June about a fax that didn't come yet? See, he was trying to change the narrative and trying to change where the story happened at. Let me tell you where he got that at and why he tried to do it. Frank Alexander did an interview on Bomb1st with Gullible John, Reggie's partner. They got canceled by Morgan & Morgan. Listen. So Frank Alexander talks about the facts. But Frank Alexander never got a chance to reveal the facts. He talked about having it. He talked about the facts. He didn't give the exact date, but he said it was sent in August. This is the same facts. Now, if there was a fax sent in June, don't you think Frank would have said something about, yeah, Pac sent the fax in June too, you know. Yeah, he ain't say nothing like that. He said in August, and he was clear and concise. Gullible John, I know you're listening, and you know this is true because you interviewed Frank. See, when Frank did that interview, Reggie came out and he tried to get in front of that interview by pushing the date back to June. Right? We hadn't seen the facts. We just knew the date, but he tried to push it back to June. But guess what? Our good sister, Yasmin Fula, Yaki Gaddafi's mom, Reggie was disrespecting her too. And you know what she did because she was ahead of Tupac's company, Euthanasia? You know what she did? She released the facts. And beyond any shadow of a doubt, if you had any at that particular time, Tupac fired Reggie on August 27th, 1996. The same day a letter was sent to David Kenner also, firing him because Tupac felt that there was a conflict of interest because he represented Tupac, Suge, and Death Row. This open, but like I said, when the situation went down, David Kenner did do his job. He got Tupac out, and he repped and did the paperwork, but Pac was tired of that. Pac was like, you know what, I need an audit. I'm not getting what I think I'm supposed to be getting, and so on and so forth. That's clear. But when Yasmin released the facts, it was beyond any shadow of a doubt why Reggie would try to push that story out back to June. Because if you knew that he was talking to Suge in Vegas and saying, when Suge asking for 5 more security guards, him telling him, yeah, he sent the fax firing me. No, he didn't send the fax firing you per se from doing your death row duties. He sent it firing you for a moonlighting as his extra security during the off hours. See, because they was masquerading as Tupac security when it wasn't official death row business, record company business. Tupac fired him from that situation. But you got to understand, in Vegas that night, when Suge said send 5 more security guards from the club, Reggie was supposed to do it, and he didn't do it. And he didn't stop at the MGM Grand. See, all of these are unanswered questions that he has to answer, that he hasn't answered. But today, Tupac's spirit is alive. Brother Valentino, don't know him, never met him. You know, felt as though, you know what? You guys got somebody working with you that is alleged to have done something to Tupac Shakur, and it's on here, it's here and there. That's nothing but the chickens coming home to roost. That's nothing but the karma coming to visit the person who has spit out so much hate and vitriol and rumors and things about other people. He talked about Jamie Foxx. I keep telling y'all, saying P. Diddy put something in Jamie Foxx's drink, and that's why Jamie Foxx had a medical emergency. He didn't give a damn about what was really going on with Jamie Foxx. All he wanted to do was put out a lie. That's all he wanted to do. He tried to do something in reference to Snoop, talking about some kind of dog fight or something like that, and trying to extort. And once again, you can't do that. You can't send that kind of energy out in the air, right? Once again. And let's be clear. Reggie said that if he knew about the letter, him being fired, he said, you know me, I would have been like, fuck that nigga. And what he was talking about was Tupac. But we know now that he knew about the letter. See, he knew about the letter because guess what? When he said he talked about it in June. See, the June story works. That's a double-edged sword. Because he said he was having the conversation in June, but it really happened in Vegas. But he pushed it out until June, and I just told you why he pushed it out. But the fact that he wanted to mention June, what does that mean? That means, well, let's go with the June story if you want to go with that one. I just gave you the truth. But if you want to go with the June story, let's go with the June story for a minute. So, okay, yeah, June, okay. So June, yeah, so what that tells me is you knew about the letter since June, even though it didn't really truly come in real life until August, but we're going to give him to June. He said, well, if I had known about the letter, you know me, I would have been like, fuck that nigga, right? This is all on tape. I did the videos, right? So what did he say? Fuck that nigga. You know what I mean? You know, and blase, blah, blah, blah. What you think his attitude in Vegas was on that night? He said if he knew about the facts, he would have been like, fuck that nigga. So we know now that he truthfully knew about the facts. So what was his attitude? Fuck that nigga. I ain't sending him no security. You know what I mean? That's what the attitude was. And that created the environment. That's why I said negligence, criminal negligence. That created the environment because not only does security look after people who trying to do something to you, but security also protects you from yourself. You understand? And stops you from doing foolish things that are unbecoming. Reggie has already admitted to that. He knows. But what Keefe D knows, we have yet to see. If there was anything other than what we know from what's been presented in the public, anything nefarious that was going on at that particular time. So Gullible John, I tried to explain to you that the things that Reggie was saying and how he was conducting himself would ultimately cost you. Morgan and Morgan gone. Tupac's spirit is alive. John, Gullible John, I seen your tag, man. You got two. John has a tag. His tag number has Tupac. It's Tupac, T-P-A-C. So if the person who really hates Tupac, the video you guys did the other day, if the person who really hates Tupac, it must be Gullible John, because you got the Tupac on your tag number, man. But you let Reggie sit there and talk about Tupac like a dog. The hypocrisy of it all. You know why? Because it's all about money. And ain't none of that shit funny, to be perfectly honest with you. So Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. knows. For the people who don't know, who just coming in here, I'm going to let you know this. You know, Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. sued me. He tried to take me to court, man. Said that I defamed him in copyright infringement. Right? Listen, y'all, I'm telling you. Why would he do that? Because he know what I was saying was the truth. They tried to get my videos taken down, making false and fake and frivolous YouTube claims against me. They tried to do it all. And I fought through it all. Lawsuit too. And the funny part about it was Reggie said to me, he was like, I just don't want you calling me Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. That was the real reason why he filed the lawsuit against me. I said, well, we can come to a, you said you call me names. You don't even know me. I said, we can come to a consensus. We came to a consensus. It took everything in my body to call him up on the phone, man. Because I don't deal with people like him. Period. Just the character, the moral makeup of him. I don't deal with him. And so we came to a consensus. But guess what? He broke that agreement too. But when we signed off, right? The lawsuit was dismissed with prejudice, meaning that it couldn't be filed again. So he started calling me names. So I went back to Reggie the Rat. Because it's true. You can't sue me for calling you something that's true. You admit it. You are open book. You asked him, why didn't they come talk to you? You would have gave him the information. You said that Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. said the only time he would cooperate with the federal government is when he's telling on crooked mayors and niggas that he don't like. So you can imagine if he don't like you. What he gonna tell on? I don't know. But what I do know is that he failed Tupac Shakur and Suge Knight on September 7th, 1996. And it wasn't a mistake. Spark, man, thank you. I appreciate that. Like I said, I'm not gonna hold you guys much longer, but I appreciate your time. I appreciate you listening. More importantly, hit the share button. Morgan and Morgan, I applaud you for disassociating yourself with someone who would be so careless, so reckless, so bitter after all of these years, after all of these lies. Your boy DELRAY, straight gang.